Guys, it is Fantasy Tomorrow coming at you for week 8 of fantasy football, and I guess just football in general. My name's Jaden. We have our resident expert Caleb up over here, and we are going to be talking waiver wires, okay? This week we've probably seen some of the best games of the season, and hopefully you listened to us last week and picked up Justin Herbert and Giovanni Bernard because they played exceptionally well for week 7. We're going to find out who Caleb has as waiver wire pickups for us for week 8. So, Caleb, who are some QBs that we should be looking to stream this week?
So, we should be looking at Carson Wentz, first off. He's a quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles, of course, but he has a really good matchup this week. He's going up against the Cowboys. Now, the Cowboys just made the Washington football team look like an elite offense. And Wentz, while he might be owned in your league, he is available in about 40% of ESPN leagues. So go out there and get him if you are doing the QB streaming option. He's definitely one you should go get. And another one that's basically in the same category as Wentz for this week is Justin Herbert. Now, I talked about him last week. I told you he was going to break out, and he absolutely did. He's been awesome this year. So if he's still available, he's available in about 30% of leagues. Go pick him up. He's someone that you can start week in and week out. You can also start Teddy Bridgewater this week. Now, he's more than likely actually available, and you should pick him up. He's a good streamer. He's been very solid this year, and I really like him this week because of his matchup. He's going up against the Falcons, and we know that you can throw on the Falcons. Now, Bridgewater is surrounded by talent. He, of course, has Mike Davis in the backfield, basically picking up the torch for Christian McCaffrey. But he also has Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, and Curtis Samuel. They're all playing really well, and I like Teddy Bridgewater a lot. Definitely a good quarterback streamer.
Okay, so I totally forgot about bye weeks. So, Caleb, just rewinding it a little bit before we go forward, who has bye weeks this week?
So, know that the Cardinals, the Washington football team, and the Jaguars, and the Texans are all on bye this week. So that means players like Deshaun Watson, Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins, Terry McLaurin, Gardner Minshew, James Robinson. All these players are out. You're going to have to replace them all. So definitely some notable teams to keep in mind when you're going through and setting your lineups and trying to pick up players to replace those players on bye weeks.
Okay, so now that we are caught up, I promise to stay into this time. Who are some running backs that we should be looking to pick up off the waiver wire for week 8?
Well, one that's still available in a lot of leagues is actually Boston Scott. Now, he played really well, and he was basically filling in for Miles Sanders, who had to sit out that game on Thursday night. But Boston Scott was great. He even caught the game-winning touchdown for the Eagles. So if Sanders has to sit out for another week, I think Scott is someone that has to be owned. He's a great handcuff because we know Sanders gets hurt, gets nicked up, and misses time from every once in a while. And if Sanders is hurt again this upcoming week, definitely start Scott. Also, Wayne Gallman, he finds himself in a similar situation. Devonta Freeman, the running back in front of him on the Giants, got hurt, so Gallman got the majority of the carries in the Giants' backfield. And he ran pretty well. He's a decent option. He's definitely someone that could see an increased role as the season goes on, and especially if Devonta Freeman has to miss any time. Now, somebody whose role is expanding, even though the player that is playing alongside him in the backfield is not hurt, is Zach Moss for the Buffalo Bills. Now, he's playing really well. He is actually kind of outperforming Devin Singletary, his teammate right now. So because of that, I think that eventually Moss is going to have a bigger workload than Singletary, and he's still available in most leagues. So go and pick up Moss. He's worth a stash for the moment. Now, another player that could benefit from an injury in front of him on the depth chart is Carlos Hyde for the Seattle Seahawks. Now, Chris Carson, he got hurt. He has a foot sprain. You don't really know the severity of it at the moment, but it could cause Carson to miss some time. And in case he does, Carlos Hyde is a perfect handcuff to have. He's someone that can fill in, start, and run well in that high-powered Seahawks offense. And then also JaMychal Hasty for the San Francisco 49ers. He played well filling in for the injured Jeff Wilson. And so right now, the 49ers, they have both Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson hurt. That means that backfield is going to be headed up by Jerick McKinnon and JaMychal Hasty. Now, Hasty is running really well. I think he has a lot of upside. He'll be splitting touches, but we know that in San Francisco, those running backs get a lot of work and are very productive under that Kyle Shanahan offense. So he's definitely someone that you should pick up as well.
And is there any wide receivers we should be looking to stream?
Yeah, so first and foremost, someone that you have to pick up if he's still available. I think probably by now he's been picked up in your league, but definitely go out and check. But Antonio Brown for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, Brown has been suspended for the first 8 games of the season. He didn't really play last year except for like one game, and he's a bit of a head case. But he's so talented, and he's going to be playing with Tom Brady. And Tom Brady was very influential in getting him to come to Tampa Bay. And eventually, when Brown is available to play in Week 9, he's going to be a good asset to have on your team. So if you can still go out and get Antonio Brown, definitely do it while you still can. Now, a player that's not playing this week, but has been playing really well in the last couple of weeks and is still available in most leagues, is Christian Kirk of the Arizona Cardinals. Now, he's had 4 touchdowns in 2 weeks. He's continuing to see his role increase, and even though the Cardinals are on bye in Week 8, Christian Kirk is worth picking up and stashing on your bench for the future. Now, someone that you can stream, actually, for Week 8 is Rashard Higgins for the Cleveland Browns. Now, Odell Beckham Jr., he got hurt. He has a torn ACL. He's out for the season. That means that Higgins is going to see an increased role and a big workload, and he performed really well after Odell went out of the game this past week. He led the Browns in receiving, and I think that he has potential to do that going forward. So Higgins is definitely someone that you should pick up. Then also Brandon Ayuk for the San Francisco 49ers. Kind of a similar situation. Deebo Samuel, his teammate, got hurt, is probably going to miss a little bit of time, and that means Ayuk is going to continue to see his role increase in San Francisco's offense. Ayuk looks like an extremely talented player, definitely someone worth a stash. Now, Curtis Samuel for the Carolina Panthers, he's another player that you could start in a pinch. He's someone that is becoming the Panthers' go-to third down option. He's a really good player, worth a pickup. Also, Nelson Aguilar, he saw 9 targets for the Raiders last week in Week 7, and he's probably going to continue to see those targets go up, and he's been a really good downfield receiving option. The only problem with Aguilar is he's not the most talented player. He has a lot of drops, which is not good. So be careful, but definitely someone that you could grab in a deeper league. And also, to go along with that, just a couple more. Deontay Harris for New Orleans. He's benefiting from both Michael Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders being out with injury and COVID. So definitely, you can give Deontay Harris a shot if you need to. He's one of the few pass catchers that are left on the Saints offense. And David Moore for Seattle Seahawks. Now, we know him. He's a home run threat. He's going to always be that. We see how explosive Russell Wilson and the Seahawks offense could be. I think that David Moore is somebody who eventually is going to go off, and if he's in your lineup, he will likely win you your matchup that week. So just definitely someone to keep your eye on.
And you know we can't forget about our favorite boys, the tight ends. So is there anyone we should be looking to pick up?
Yeah, so just a couple tight ends, and it's a bit of a wasteland right now when it comes to tight ends, but keep an eye on these guys. They're likely available for you to pick up. Logan Thomas for the Washington football team. He's been seeing a lot of targets. He gets a very high target share in that offense, so definitely someone that you can pick up and play if you need to. And then also Eric Ebron for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's seen a good numbers of targets as well, so definitely someone that you can pick up. And I believe that Ebron is eventually going to see some positive touchdown regression. He's only had 1 touchdown on the year so far. With tight ends, eventually that number is going to even up. He's probably going to catch a couple of touchdowns very quickly, so definitely someone that you could start in a pitch as well.
And we know that you're a fan of changing your defense up each week depending on who they're playing. So which defenses should we be looking to pick up and start for Week 8?
So one you should definitely start is the Saints, and that's just because they're going up against the Bears. Now the Bears have Nick Foles and David Montgomery and Allen Robinson, and that's basically it. And Nick Foles doesn't really scare me. He had some great Super Bowl heroics a couple of years ago, but that's an offense that can be exploited. I think the Saints defense, while they have not been as great as they have been in years past, I do think they have an easy matchup and they should do really well in what could end up being a low-scoring game. And then also the Chargers going up against the Broncos. I think the Chargers defense is going to do really well. We just saw the Broncos turn the ball over 4 times against the Chiefs in Week 7. And the Chargers, they have a good pass rush, and they have a good secondary. They can force turnovers, and that means points for your defense. So definitely the Chargers should be streamed in every league this week.
Well, there you have it, guys. Go pick up these players and reap the benefits, okay? We expect these players to break out and lead your team to a victory. We're going to say goodbye to Caleb. I'm going to throw a recap up. And as always, my name is Jaden. This is Fantasy Tomorrow, okay, guys? Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Go message us on our social medias. I'm going to throw them up here. And just remember, we're Fantasy Tomorrow. And we're here to give you the information to learn today and win tomorrow. See you guys for week 9.